He didn't steal from his grandmother. He didn't lie to her. He didn't forge documents or move money without her knowledge. He genuinely believed he was helping her. He was excited, the kind of excited that makes people feel generous, the kind that makes them want to share something good with the people they love. And he watched $30,000 of her retirement disappear in a matter of weeks. Then he stopped taking her calls. This is what broke by design looks like when the person who designed it had no idea what they were doing. Let me put you in November 2024. The election has just happened. Markets are moving. Crypto is surging. There is a particular kind of financial energy in the air, the kind that makes people who have never paid close attention to markets suddenly start paying very close attention. Forums are buzzing. Predictions are flying. People who had been sitting on the sidelines for years are asking whether now the moment is they've been waiting for. In the middle of all of this is a young man, a grandson, riding that wave of excitement. He has been following crypto for a while. He has opinions, he has conviction, and he has a grandmother who trusts him completely. She is retired. She has $50,000 in savings. Not a windfall, not inherited wealth. Money she built over decades of working, accumulated carefully, slowly, the way people who live through harder times accumulate things. $50,000 represents not just a number, but a specific kind of security. The knowledge that if something goes wrong, a medical bill, a broken furnace, a year where things get difficult, there is something to fall back on. Here is the concept that matters most for understanding what happens next. Risk tolerance and life stage. Every investment decision should be filtered through two questions. How much can I afford to lose, and how much time do I have to recover if I do? A 25-year-old who puts $10,000 into a volatile asset and loses half of it has time, decades potentially. The market can recover. Their income can recover. The loss hurts, but it is survivable in the long run. A person at retirement age operates under completely different mathematics. Their income is fixed or declining. Their timeline is short. A 60% loss does not mean waiting for a recovery. It may mean the recovery never comes in time to matter. The financial term for what someone at retirement age needs is capital preservation. Not growth, not speculation, preservation. Keeping what you have so it can do its job when you need it. The grandson did not think about capital preservation. He thought about opportunity. He told his grandmother he knew where the money should go. Let me tell you what he put her money into. The first asset was the Trump coin. I want to be precise about what that is because the name creates confusion. The Trump coin is not a cryptocurrency backed by any government, institution, or legitimate financial instrument. It is what the crypto community calls a meme coin, a token created around a cultural moment, a joke, a celebrity, or in this case, a political figure, with no underlying utility or value proposition. It exists because people buy it, and it loses value when people stop buying it. The crypto community was not subtle about what it was. Before the ink was dry on the launch, experienced traders were openly calling it a rug pull waiting to happen, meaning the creators would eventually pull their liquidity, the value would collapse, and anyone holding it would be left with nothing. The grandson put his retired grandmother's money into a meme coin. The second and third assets were Polkadot and Chainlink. These are legitimate cryptocurrencies. They have real development teams, real use cases, and real communities behind them. I want to be fair about that. But legitimate does not mean appropriate. Both are high-risk, speculative assets with significant volatility. Even experienced crypto investors treat them as high-risk positions, money they can afford to lose entirely. They are not assets you put retirement savings into. For someone at the grandmother's life stage, they represent the same fundamental mismatch: speculation dressed up as investment. What the grandson built was not a portfolio, it was a bet. 3 separate bets, actually, all made on the same underlying thesis, that political excitement would translate directly into market returns. This is what behavioral economists call hot state decision-making, choices driven by emotional momentum rather than rational evaluation. The election has just happened. Crypto was surging. The feeling of certainty was overwhelming. And that feeling, not analysis, not research, not understanding of his grandmother's financial situation, is what drove every decision he made with her money. Within weeks, 60% was gone. $30,000 of a $50,000 family that lost everything because a man filled out one form correctly, not in a slow and then never that gave anyone time to adjust or exit. In weeks, the paperwork was right for a version of his life that exactly as the crypto community predicted it would collapse. Episode 3. The altcoins. A grandmother who lost $30,000 because the grandmother's $50,000 no paperwork $20,000 just moved before her money the grandson fully understood what had happened. 3 stories. The Reddit community did not mince money words. Goes where it is directed. One commenter put it does exactly not care about intention. You are does not care about relationships. That is a gambler's mentality. It follows the aggravating factor and the people who end up broke by design not even yours are almost always the ones who gave it the wrong instructions or gave it none. I want to stay with that for a moment. Next week there is a different kind of disaster. The financial loss is devastating as it was a mistake. This has been broke by design, made with her money without the expertise to justify it, but a mistake. People make mistakes with money. What happened next was a choice. She kept calling. He kept not answering. The Reddit community was unsparing about it. You need to man up and take her calls like an adult. You need to get her out and make her whole. Those should be your losses, not hers. The silence transformed a financial error into a relationship crisis. It took something that was painful and made it also humiliating. A grandmother left wondering whether her grandson, the person she trusted completely, was ever going to face what he had done. Here are the 3/3. After the best area of the forcive of the retirement. Here are the 3 the day listed. That's what I was talk about it in the public money. The story turned the way that investment risk must match life stage. It does not matter how exciting an asset is. It does not matter how much you believe in it. If the person whose money you are advising cannot afford to lose it if losing it would materially damage their security, and they do not have time to recover that asset is wrong for them. Full stop. The potential upside does not change the math. Rule 2. Political sentiment is not investment analysis. Markets are complex systems that respond to thousands of variables simultaneously. The feeling that a political outcome will produce specific financial results is not a thesis, it is a hope. History is full of confident political-to-market predictions that collapsed in contact with reality. Excitement about an election outcome is not a reason to move retirement savings into speculative assets. Rule 3, and this one is the most important. There is a legally and morally meaningful difference between sharing enthusiasm and giving financial advice. Saying, "I am excited about crypto" is a conversation. Saying you should put your retirement savings into these 3 specific assets is advice. And if you are not a licensed financial advisor, and the person acts on it and loses money, you are not legally liable in most cases, but you are morally accountable in every case. The grandson crossed that line without understanding where it was. Can $30,000 be recovered at limit enemy? The honest answer is sometimes and rarely easily. A retired person with $20,000 left has limited options. They cannot simply wait for the market to recover. Their timeline does not allow it. They cannot easily increase their income to make up for the difference. What they can do is be significantly more conservative with what remains, move it into capital preservation instruments, adjust their retirement expectations, and hope that their other income sources cover the gap. For many people at that stage of life, a 60% loss does not just delay retirement. It changes what retirement looks like permanently. One commenter on the original post said clearly, "The math is unforgiving." Someone in their 20s has decades to recover from a 60% loss. Someone at retirement age may never recoup it. The opportunity cost is not just financial. It is years of security. It is peace of mind. It is the thing she spent decades building so she would not have to worry. The grandson was not malicious. He was careless with something that was not his to be careless with. He mistook enthusiasm for expertise. He mistook a political moment for a financial thesis. And when the consequences arrived, he did the one thing that made everything worse. He went quiet. The money followed the paperwork. It always does. And the paperwork in this story was written by someone who had no business writing it. 3 episodes. 3 financial disasters. Episode 1. A man who won in probate court because his father had the foresight to fill out one form correctly. The people who came for the money had no legal standing because the paperwork was right. Episode 2. A family that lost everything because a man filled out one form correctly and then never updated it when his life changed. The paperwork was right for a version of his life that no longer existed. Episode 3. A grandmother who lost $30,000 because someone she trusted filled out no paperwork at all, just moved her money based on a feeling. 3 stories, 1 pattern. Money goes where it is directed. It does not care about intention. It does not care about relationships. It follows instructions, and the people who end up broke by design are almost always the ones who gave it the wrong instructions, or gave it none. Next week, there is a different kind of disaster. Same paper trail. This has been Broke by Design. Subscribe. New episode next week.